We're glad that you're in class today. We're studying Hebrew Watt. And sorry, I want to watch a video. Here's a lost child. And go to the store and you're shopping for inheritance findings or the call applied. I have this two bills. It's true why I tell stories. What happens to my wife all the time? I'm going to buy her a bedroom. I cannot tell you how many steps I've taken looking for her and cannot find her because she's this tall. Oh, this children. Go tell her 8 hours. But for that, when we're who works saying or different law, what do you think we separated by or law? They was in a whole. So we enforce a lot of an assumption of what they mean to us, but they may not match what out there. That's always been a problem. And so when you look about this, it's that kind of idea. I like this passage because it's for say story of the Philippian jailer. Now remember the Philippian jailer, Gentile. It's a Roman, not Jewish. He doesn't have a background. So just think about that for a moment. And so when the earthquake happens, doors get flung open. He's assuming everybody would flee. Paul grabs him before he can kill himself. And he said, "Don't worry, we're all still here." His response to that, his first response is, "First, what must I do to be saved?" And to the jailer one, saved from. Okay, how is Paul going to say? How is that going to keep him related? But he'll feel a lot better about it when it happens. Okay, we use that word. I want to be saved. Have no religious consent. When we use word often say, we want to do it that way. He's not going to do it the same way. Because he had to on the separation. He got and ran. He made him leave. That's a troll. He made him leave. There's a St. Augustine, the church father, was a prophet, rodeo, to the point that he had sired 7 children. Wedlock gave everything away, wasted his life, until he finally found getting spirit and word crying. And one of the things he said was there is a watching full in the life of every person only God can fill. I think that's what the jailer is. He doesn't the rest of you the way. I just need to be saved. Come from what? Apparently you guys have somebody. And so question and but for Luke, he had the things focus on the sauce there. In fact, he has more ideas about the law. Most of the other gospel. Think about it. We're going gospel concept of law. One is on works as instruction. I take it as like I know Orthodox people, and I know some other their children marrying someone they did not. And they say, why? Or dead. That's the concept. No way of coming back. He wants to put their the word. And so the question is, who is law? Question A, most people say nobody can believe law. This world today doesn't believe anybody's law. Eventually, in the end, it's all going to work itself out, and God can say it's okay to work. But our concept is there, no question. Why? Now, in Luke 15, we're just looking at one chapter. The reason we're going to look at one chapter is because they're one out of five. Try to and work. And so we're going to look at one chapter, Luke chapter 15. None of these stories are anywhere else. John, Mark, and John. So we look. I think the reason. The three stories are a lost coin, and a lost Lord. We know them well. So, when he writes the story of Jesus, it tells a parable. So let me ask you this, just right. You know these stories. We're not going to read every one of these stories. We're going to talk about why. Why do you think Jesus tells three parables in a row? Repetition keeps driving them. And different perspective, different state. Okay. I'm a drum beat type. Oh, it's fine. I think. Okay. What? Okay. Who wants them back? That's a common battlefield. Second question. Why do you think it tells them? Great question. Okay. Okay. They, yeah, yeah. They tell you three stories in interesting order. And what? Yeah. Okay. What are you saying? Well, you're wrong. Okay. We're going to talk about the sameness or difference. So I'll let you think, are they, we've all the same channel. Generally they are, but they're not. So we're going to approach the chat. There is this video on what off the parable. And it says the tax collector we're gathered around here, Jesus. Pharisee, the team, all mother, this man is often sinners. What's the prompt of him? Now, were they incorrect in their observation? Okay. Were they incorrect? The judgment, okay. This is an issue that for the Pharisee and the scribes, they had a concept of law that said, if you don't keep it down, traditions just right, you're not worthy. And in fact, we don't want to be around you. Let's corrupt us. Do that today. You know, if you got a teenager and on the wrong ground, he comes and says, say, look, get better friend. He says, Jesus paid the tax collector and the sinners, didn't he? What are you going to say? The answer is, you're not Jesus. I can solve your teeth from, you're not Jesus. I don't care what you say. Find new friends. See, that's what the parents worry about, the influence, and the Pharisees were worried about the influence. How we deal with this? Because we let this thing go on and we accept it. It's going to take so long till nobody's going to keep the law anymore. And we're all just going to be a bunch of renegades. You see, like the place. And that's how they saw things. We're corrupting society like that. Here's the first parent. It's about the man, sheep, one, 99 open. It goes to one law. Now, with the list thing appropriate. Right? That's right. Well, like the match, it's what you tell me that don't man, don't man. Yeah, birthful at work. We had a mobile home he lived in for an alley, but it's surrounded by so I'm about to be the sheep go door. I had one time I had called this. I wanted to say, oh, there's how. But sheep will just be they keep their head until they eat themselves clear. Only 99 sheep out there in the open to where the wolves, animals go. I just think we need to find one. Really? That makes sense. Economically, 1% law said too bad. 99% law, that's not big. So what are you going to do? And so he goes out and finds the sheep. And here's what ends by saying, I tell you that in the same way, there'll be more rejoicing eternally over one sinner who repents than over the 99 righteous person. Who are the righteous here? The religious leaders, they thought themselves righteous. What's he starting to tell them? That God doesn't care if you're righteous or not? Good. Our people said. Then why does he just leave the land? And we've had, you folks come on Wednesday night all the time. We got the rest of your pastor. And so, yeah. Then you go the next going to be the big one is Friday. This one is 10 silver coins. This is one. And one goes to trouble. Well, people are all going. She has mine. You don't have just wait. But she can sweep in the floor. They can just keep dropping crumbs behind her. Why did you look for 1 point? She only has 9 others. Good. She goes smart in the gallery. She. Good. Good. A point collection, for instance, and point collection has 10 points in it. Whole set is worth $50,000. It says if one of them missing, it's worth 9 cents. Okay. So what do? You got to complete the set again. You got to get them all back in place. So this woman does that. And when you come down to the story, sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Notice the parallel is In the same way, I tell you that there is rejoicing in the present. God wants to. Same idea, same concept. Now, what are the similarities to her? They'll like. Okay, they just have value. Okay, and joy, at least, yeah, or they are oblivious. Yeah, all these things and no emotions, all, and so what do you think Jesus is trying to get across with these? Stop there, hold stuff. Oh, get lost, realize lost. Where the seeker really goes to a trouble in it. The importance of the one. The importance of the one. It needs to keep that. Just keep that in mind. Because we come to pride in the son's like warriors. The word pride. But I looked at prodigal, I was like, me law. Yes. How is that he made that anchor? Not a cat. That's what it means, always. Except that that's what it means. Okay. A lady born careless. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think they were careless, and that's about as close to the word pride as this. Word prodigal comes out of when Jerome translates state a lack. Yes. Prodigal. But it means waste. He lived on one little piece. He wasted his fortune. Oh, he's a prodigal son. I want you to know how and why we change our language. We don't think that way. It's the one. One strike. That's the word. So, long story, where I'm going. In fact, the more you tell it, the more you know it. Read is about a man has two sons. Each one going to get an inheritance his life. His trust on her. And the younger son wants to sow his wild, that he doesn't like being at home. So he will go, so give me my inheritance with my own life. And so the father says, I'll give it to you. First question, if you would have been the father, I'm taking people one way. I go so first. Like in an arcade workout. We'll call, we don't want to do too much damage. So what people say, that's why I worry about code words on children. And let them letting go of a lot of things. And so where goes off to a for good if you don't know where he is at heritage, yes, your mind, and finds himself. It's a nice way to think, finding things for things. And all of a sudden, he comes through this, says, he goes back home. He has this perfect speech. But his father won't make it. Or rally, come along and rejoice, boy, lost. What you think about 14 already have this element things that will someone looking for it. They want the back. They go on. They did. Why is that the father here doesn't send one being for a servant off to the far country, grab the kid by the neck? You're coming home. You understand that? Why would he do that? Carolyn. If you ever make some money, it does. That's what I do. I do. Horse. A lot of characters have to this story about it. And what is it? If you stop the story, here's what all three look like. There's rejoicing in heaven. Death. There's rejoicing in the presence of the angel. Consider who repents. Like his child who was dead is now alive and has come home. Let's celebrate. That's exactly what. Let's parallel. One thing that will be taught me when I start free, everything got to be parallel. Wildly. And so he's parallel. They don't tell me that in the story. Well, Jesus could have wrapped this thing up at 3 points of prayer and called it cafeteria. So what he does, he says, meanwhile, while this is going on, there's another kid, an older son, who has been faithful, who has been consistent, helping, and when the son comes home, he's mad. How dare you welcome it? He took what was yours and wasted. And now you're going to say, make it. How does that last set forward? Very. Sounds like he's compared to Nintendo. It didn't. See, but the first two, or stop and rejoicing, last two go, I heard even this. Comes up. Is the older brother justified? Okay, Wayne might get. Wayne might not get his time true. Faith. Yes. Correct. What? Well. That's right. All right. Okay. Dad. Sure. There's and but think about what the brothers possibility. The natural thing for us to not. So if there was a wise best for areas, but you found that most one day goes to Christian. He tires one, Lord, it's for. So he comes back home and he walks back to the church and said, I'm back. We're going to take it back. Wherever you are. What? He did something to me. And he's been here the whole time. Right. I like that story. But that's okay. 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 The father story. It is. It's like holding up air. They go, I don't like what it. And have you ever noticed there's some families, the kids get to sit, read, call that. A lot of families now, they swear it's a wall for it. Okay. Father. Dad, yeah. Oh, you there. You know, what? Yeah, he waited. It's interesting. I always wonder, I didn't questions. I wonder what they found stories. Oh, yeah, I mean, they or like Cold War. I think after this, there are a lot of it was the, I'm not sure the more story the West here. So you know the story about he practiced in my previous church. I performed a wedding for one of my churches married the time who was sick all 3 years. Dallas Cowboys football. But they grew up in a house that did not hold the Bible, literature, or and mother-in-law said, I'll give it a shot. Oh, the great Bible study. If you had to start from Tim Spawn, start with, hey, what does the Bible say? Word, y'all, can't touch it. And so we came to a point where the question was, if I believe or fight far short. And sometimes you realize that you look very wide improved for the 25 years. Look, it was like, right spot. And I remember saying, old Bible, like, he said, what's that? For a sharp mind. I said, well, that means show different circumstances. Means so the question is, what is the story about? It's not a family issue where there's a runaway. Because you come home, is it how the Pharisee the sinners? Is it about the Jew-Gentile problem in the early church? Jews didn't want to Gentile. Let's say John Mosaic. And they just couldn't be part of the church. It's about us in the church today. We don't. So what do you think, Stuart? A week for one from yes. We're having father who want the yeah. Boy. See, this question was a story about make these about all. I think uh, it's got the Jews that of the church. Well, back Luke, when he joins the story next, right out in Congress, people watching all this stuff play out. What's the take? And then you have families, we all those families, not full families. This. It's also about how cares sinners. That's how. Whereas, like the church today, God ain't tell me out. Who knows? Pray. Yeah, right. So, I've had was a story about it. You think most churches really work there's marriage here. I use that and treat well, like the old if we know it's I think it's interesting because we don't know what's and what do the laws look like. Well, just to be honest, have you realized it's what we have built up in our mind about losses based on decided with the entrance to a building instead of all sky. He granted all. Everybody, let's say people, they go in places they're not supposed to walk people in church. Guessing. We don't know why today. But yeah. The reason I think Luke tells a story, some stories actually is playing some man teams and say, well, great, called law. How many do you why that law first? Whether it's supposed to be coins, coin, boy, here. You want somebody, I work on that's it. I'll pronounce each without saying. Well, interesting idea was first of all, I read from various churches. I had one guy that's extremely resistant. Wasn't he? He didn't think people think that can be baptized. Great. He just didn't think what he had a spot. His philosophy is I got a Bible over it. Really? I'm 48 years old when he said that. I thought him nuts. People don't understand the Bible. They just know the ark. And John gave the 10 Commandments. They don't know the Amalekites were Israelites. When they read the Bible, it's full of nuts. They don't understand what's going on. It's all got lost in their weed, and I don't know what to do. The Ethiopian know. How can I understand this? So somebody explain me. Don't read your Bible. The laws can't figure it out. They would have. Because honesty is correct. People are looking for things that they don't know. Like what Steve Jobs, his philosophy was people know what they want to show us. There's people lost it away. There are no laws. There are just, no, they're not yet. That change. You can just have it down. Let's see. Flying away. Next week, we're going to continue our story of wedge you out.